Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports, another football video, and today I'm going over my Super Bowl prediction for the Super Bowl 57 of the 2022 to 2023 NFL season. We got 2 more weeks until the Super Bowl, and we just had 2 very interesting championship games last night. One of them I think was a little bit better of a game than the other one, but overall, it was pretty good games. First off, we have the wild card weekend recap. I'm going to be quickly recapping the wild card divisional and championship rounds of my predictions, and then I'll get into the Super Bowl analysis. So first off, I was 4-2 in the wild card round, which isn't terrible. I've definitely done better though. But I was pretty identical on the 4 scores that I did get correct, which I was pretty happy about. Bills Dolphins had the Bills winning 38-24. They won 34-31. Bengals Ravens, I had the Bengals winning 24-20. This game I had almost identical. It was 24-17. And then Jaguars Chargers, I was just as close. 31-30 was my score prediction. The final score was 34-30. In the NFC, I was a little bit further off on Niners Seahawks. I had the Niners winning 41-23. They won 31-20. And then I had the Cowboys losing to the Buccaneers 27-22. The Cowboys ended up winning that game 31-14, and it was not really close. In the divisional round and the championship rounds, I was 3-3. Definitely could have done better. But I put an asterisk next to the Eagles-Niners because Brock Purdy did not play. So I think that did make a difference in that game. I had the Chiefs beating the Jaguars 38-37. They won 27-20. And I had the Bills beating the Bengals 27-24. They lost 27-10. In the NFC, I had the Eagles beating the Giants 34-30. The Eagles won that game 38-7, and I had the Niners beating the Cowboys 37-31. And I had about the right margin of victory. I said it would be 6. It was 7. But my score prediction was way off. The final score was 19-12. And in the conference championship round, I had the Chiefs beating the Bengals 34-31. The Chiefs won 23-20. Again, pretty similar margin of victory, but I was way off on the score. I predicted pretty high scores consistently because obviously all of the best teams with the best offenses are in the playoffs, but the defenses really showed up in a lot of these games. And Eagles-Niners, I had the Niners winning 30-27. The Eagles won 31-7. I was pretty close on the Eagles score. But overall, I think that Brock Purdy getting injured in that game definitely had a big impact. Not that Josh Johnson is this horrendous quarterback, but Brock Purdy has been phenomenal this year. Statistical comparison of the teams. I do this every year before the Super Bowl. I look at how each of these teams has performed throughout the year based off of their rankings on offense and defense, and then I use that for my final prediction for the Super Bowl. So first off, record, they're both 16-3, although the Eagles were missing Jalen Hurts for 2 of their losses. Jalen Hurts is 15-1, or 14-1. He's either 14-1 or 15-1. The Chiefs are 5-2 against 500 or better teams. The Eagles are 9-2. I kept finding new teams to add for 500 or better because I kept forgetting which ones were 500. I forgot Washington was 500 technically because they're 8-1. I forgot about the Steelers. But overall, Kansas City 5-2, Eagles 9-2. So Eagles had a more difficult schedule. A lot of people were saying at the beginning of the season the Eagles had like the easiest schedule in the league, but they ended up playing a lot of playoff teams or playoff contenders throughout the course of their season. On offense, the Chiefs average about 24 more points yards a game. They're number 1 in the league, and the Eagles are number 3 at 389.1 points a game. The Chiefs average about 1 extra point a game. They're first in the league. The Eagles are 3rd at 28.1. Giveaways, Kansas City's given the ball away 23 times in the regular season. This was just regular season averages, not playoff averages. And the Eagles gave it away 19 times in the regular season. The Eagles were 5th in the league, and the Chiefs were tied in 17th. On defense, Eagles were considerably more consistent. 328 yards a game against for Kansas City, 301.5 against for the Eagles, which is about the same yardage differential as the offensive differential. The Eagles averaged 24 yards a game less than the Chiefs did, and now on defense they're averaging 27 points a game less, so pretty similar. Points per game, Kansas City is giving away 21.7. The Eagles are giving away 20.2. Again, Kansas City is 1.1 better on points a game for. The Eagles are 0.5 better on points against. So pretty similar overall for yardage and points per game differential between offense and defense. The Eagles' numbers just look better because there's a bigger difference between number 1 and number 3 than there is between number 8 and number 16. 20 takeaways total versus 27 for the Eagles. The Eagles were tied in 4th and the Chiefs were tied in 20th. And this brings us to the turnover differential, which I think will be one of the biggest, if not the most important factor for the Super Bowl. The Eagles are at a +8 for the regular season, and the Chiefs are at a -3. I don't think that the Chiefs are over 500 or over 0 for their point differential at this point, and I think that the Eagles have very clearly in their 2 dominant wins just increased that that differential by more and more and more. This week against the Niners especially, they got 3 fumble recoveries, and I don't believe that they turned the ball over at all. The Eagles also had a more difficult schedule. As I already said, they played 11 either playoff teams or playoff contenders, and they were and their opponent's total strength of schedule was 157, 159, and 7. Yes, 7 ties because they played the Washington Commanders and the Giants twice each, the Giants 3 times, and they also played the Texans and the Colts. So they ended up playing against 7 opponents who had ties on their record. The Chiefs were against opponents who averaged a total strength of schedule of 151, 167, and 2. So the Chiefs' schedule was marginally easier. Not significant, but not insignificant. The Eagles definitely had a more difficult schedule throughout the season. And in my opinion, the Niners were the second best team, or the best team going into the conference championship round, and they demolished both of their playoff opponents. Kansas City played very close games in both of their playoff games. I haven't been unimpressed by Kansas City this season. Obviously, they did win 2 playoff games to make it to the Super Bowl, but I think that Patrick Mahomes has not entirely impressed me in the playoffs so far. He's had a lot of really impressive drives, individual drives, especially obviously for that touchdown drive. It wasn't the most impressive drive in the world, but he did get it done, and that's what the Chiefs have been doing, is getting it done. The Eagles have been looking like they looked in the regular season, just dominating everyone and everything in their sight. That being said, in Super Bowl 57, I have the Eagles beating the Kansas City Chiefs 27-23. I think that they will once again dominate everything in their sight. Obviously, it's only a full-point game, but I'm not going to be betting Patrick Mahomes to be losing by 2 or 3 scores. I think that the Eagles will win, and I think that they will win comfortably. I think it'll be 27-20, 27-17 going into the 4th quarter. They'll have a comfortable lead, and they're going to. I think that the Eagles' defense is going to be suffocating for a lot of this game. And the Chiefs' defense, I just don't think will be good enough to stop the Eagles' offense from putting up 30. I have 27 because these games have been lower scoring than I expect in the playoffs, but I think that the Eagles could very easily put up 30, potentially 40 points, depending on what the turnover differential looks like. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace. Huge shout out to Quinn Lacey for supporting the channel with a channel membership.